Hey guys, it's me, Verb. It's been a little bit. Now, I have like two fans. Okay, let's be real. I have like five people who watch my channel, and four of them are people I know. So this isn't exactly an update that's going to be seen by anyone. But of the like five people that are my fans who care, here's an update video. So, the day is September 21st, 2021. I uploaded the Area 51 video September 19th, 2019. That was two freaking years ago. And I am sorry. So, let me give you just a little bit of a life update. I genuinely have been pursuing this channel as a thing I want to do. And I have done a lot, and I mean a lot, of work behind the scenes that none of you guys have seen. I've done a lot of life building, a lot of relationship building, I've had 3 jobs since that video. 3. I've lived in 3 or 4 different places, and I have just generally been really busy with trying to live my life and not go insane over the last 2 years. And I'm recording this after the fact, after I've recorded everything else. This is going to be a long video. I'm basically just going to have a little group therapy session here. Except you don't get to talk to me about your problems. I just get to talk to you about mine. And, I mean, sure, you can tell me your problems in the comment section. I certainly don't care. You can go ahead and do that. I'll read them. I'll like or heart or respond to them. But this is just going to be an update where I just tell you what's happened in my life and give you a little bit of an explanation if you're one of the people that cares. However, I have a bad habit where I tend to ramble. I tend to go on. And it's not because I'm doing it on purpose. It's because I'm genuinely bad at communicating my ideas sometimes in a concise manner. Especially when they're long explanations of things that have happened in the past that involve a lot of emotions. So, if you want a too long didn't read summary of everything I'm going to talk about in this video, and you don't want to listen to the whole entire fucking thing, skip to this timestamp. Skip the timestamp on the screen right now, if you got places to be, which you probably do. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this whole fucking video once I'm done rendering it. Like, it's a long one. So, hold on to your hats, everybody. Your Team Fortress 2 hats. So, let's start from the beginning. In 2019, I was struggling a lot. And I mean a lot with personal stuff. My life was going really, really crazily. There was nothing I wanted to do more than break out of my shell and be myself and be genuine, that sort of thing. I was going through that sort of midlife teenager crisis that every child growing up to an adult eventually reaches this point where they have to choose. Am I going to be a real human being? Or am I going to be a drone? And the answer kind of depends on their circumstances and the position of society as a whole. Sometimes it might be okay-ish to be a drone because things are going really well and things aren't going to be bad for a long time and there's not much you can really easily do to stop things from getting bad, and things are going well right now, so may as well ride on life, right? But then sometimes, like the era that I've been alive, society is shit, and things are happening around you all the time that make you feel like you going to college and getting a degree and going to a normal desk job in some office somewhere for some company is actually going to continue to make the world a worse place. I was always kind of more like freelance with my work. I've never really been one to answer to someone unless I think it was a valuable use of my time. When I was in elementary school, as early as third grade, I would get frustrated with having too much homework and not being able to focus on my life. And I'm like the most autism ADHD person alive. Meaning, it can be really, really hard for me to focus on something that I have no motivation to focus on. My brain basically runs off of 100% dopamine response at all times. And if I'm not doing something engaging or entertaining, then my brain says, nope, do something else. And in order to stop that, I have to have a lot of willpower and desire to want to do the thing that my brain is telling me to stop doing. And, well, without getting too much into it here, my experience at college was a turbulent one, to say the very, very least. I hated it there. I hated everything about it. Well, not everything about it. I enjoyed the people I got to know and the life lessons I learned, but that can be said of literally anything. My experience with college was 90% what the fuck am I doing with my time? How do I learn this material? What does this mean? I need to know more about this. I need to get a better grasp of this concept. I need to understand this better. And people just not being there for me. Teachers never being available. Other students never wanting to work. Because all of the people I was good friends with were such overachievers that they would get their homework done instantly and not want to focus on it for the rest of the day. I would ask them at fucking 3 p.m. to help me with homework, and they'd be like, oh, I'm checked out for the day. I can't help you with that. You should have paid better attention in class. Understand the concept. I paid plenty good attention. Oftentimes what would happen is I wouldn't understand something, and I would ask people for help. I would, raise my hand in class, and the teacher would take 30 fucking minutes to call on me. He'd just decide, no, I'm not calling on him. And then he'd finally call on me 10 minutes later. It was so in the past of the lesson that he didn't care anymore. And it was like, well, why are you asking about that? We've moved past that. You gotta keep up, man. And it was such a shit show. After leaving that place and spending some time trying to learn the information on my own, I can confirm that about 90% of the time, it was the professor's fault. It was that he was using some word that I had never heard before, and he just expected the students to have read, the first 7 chapters of the textbook that's written like Greek, which I did read, but I didn't understand it because it's written intentionally hard to understand because the people who write textbooks want to charge you $200 for them. To give you the too long didn't read of what basically happened, I was having an existential crisis of okay, do I continue to go to college for engineering degree, or do I just give up entirely and use the money I have to, instead of going to college, just go do something else with my life? I was having going through a lot of emotional shit in 2017 to 2019. And just because I was growing up and the world was falling apart around me and I was changing very heavily. And in 2019, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I have to change schools. This is not working. I have to leave is what I want to do. And I was like, I really want to leave. And I had a period of time where I was so emotionally distraught and I was so spiritually motivated that I didn't, that every day I woke up and I was tempted to run away and go drive to some state with mountains and just climb a fucking mountain. That is where I was mentally. I was just like, I need to go climb a mountain and leave, and just to really send a message to everyone that I'm not kidding around and I want to do something important with my life. But I never had the courage to do it. And so I just kind of went through school, and that's a subject for a whole nother video. But basically, in 2017 through 2019, more and more indie games kept coming out that kept entering into my sphere that were about a person climbing a mountain and changing their life. First it was Getting Over It, then it was Celeste, and it was Baba Is You. And it's I felt like a moral responsibility to play these games. I was like, and I didn't even know Baba Was You had a mountain in it until I got through it. The point is, I didn't even know Celeste was about a mountain. I just knew it was a platformer. Point is, oh yeah, and then Bill Wirtz made his freaking climbing the mountain video. It just felt like the universe was speaking to me. And I needed to leave college. So I finally, in 2019, I got the courage, I worked up the courage to do it because this is what happened. I ended up failing a fall-only class that was a prerequisite to a spring-only class that was another prerequisite to another fall, so that if you ever failed a single class, you'd have to go for like another 2 years to graduate. They do it that way on purpose. I mean, maybe they don't. It does help them organize better and need less professors when things are only one semester. So I did this class and failed it because I was just so mentally not there. And I was obviously worried. I was like, wait a second, I failed this class. Am I going to be able to graduate on time? Am I going to be able to graduate in 4 years? So I went and talked to my professor about it, like the head of the engineering department, the computer engineering department. And I talked to him and was like, all right, is there a way for me to graduate in 4 years? And we looked at my thing, we looked at my schedule, and he said, yes, if next semester you do object-oriented programming, differential equations, and physics 2, if you cram all of those into one semester, you can do it. And so I did it. I crammed all of those into one, or it might have been 2 semesters, I don't remember. I know I had differential equations at the same time that I had physics 2, and then I know that I had the other one in the same year. I don't remember exactly, but the point is that I did physics 2, and physics 2, I'm not afraid to say on a public platform, was the single worst experience of my entire life. The teacher treated me like human garbage that did not deserve any human respect or basic human decency, and he was absolutely unhelpful. And I felt like a crazy person. I felt like an insane person, because all of the people that I hung out with, who were the overachievers types, who just were so good at just being on top of it and doing good despite setbacks, they would get annoyed at how much help I needed. I never quite grasped the concepts because a lot of them, people just had a rough time explaining to me. I just had a really rough time grasping the concepts. And people just kind of treated me like, well, you do, so you're stupid. You can't figure this out. It's just too complicated for you. It's just as simple as that. And I know that's not true, because after enough throwing my head at the wall, I would eventually understand what was going on. And, like, a lot of it was just really unintuitive, and people just expected me to understand, like, there was so much shit in physics 2 where they would just give you an equation and be like, this equation talks about this relationship, and this equation talks about this relationship, and then they'd show you, like, 20 equations. Like 20 of them. And some of them, he'd go so fucking quickly through them that I barely even had time to write them down before he was already on the next slide talking about the next one. And, like, 3 or 4 of the equations would be used on the homework. And I didn't know which ones to internalize and focus on, because some of them he explained fully, and some of them he just mentioned because, like, oh, this is another interesting thing that's somewhat related and tangent to what we're talking about. And sometimes he would even show things on the board, like go through full examples of concepts that weren't on the homework, and not go through concepts that were on the homework. Like, this was the shittiest teacher I have ever had the displeasure of having. And I would visit him during office hours, and he would talk down to me for not paying better attention in class. To prove a point, eventually he finally gave me permission to start recording his classes. So I did. I recorded his classes and then told him I was still having a rough time. And he sat me down and he gave me this talk that I never forgot, where he said that physics class wasn't really made for me. Like, I didn't go into this with the intention of answering every single one of your questions and giving you a perfect understanding of the material. This class is a test, because what I did growing up was I asked my professor questions about everything that I didn't understand, and he answered every single one of them, and he walked me through everything. But I didn't really internalize any of it, because I only desired actually getting through the class. I didn't really want to learn the information. So I just kind of made it through the class, and I didn't struggle at all. And then I came out on the other side, and I didn't really care. I made it all the way through graduate studies, but I never really internalized the information, and no one took me seriously because I didn't know the material well enough to really do anything with it that would make money. So I became a professor, and I decided that when I was a professor, what I would do is I would teach people this information, but in a way that they have to find it themselves. They have to struggle a little bit, because I want to gatekeep the profession from people who actually care about it. So that if someone like me goes through my class, they're like, this shit is stupid, and they don't spend the rest of their life on it. So basically, this professor felt it was the right thing to do to intentionally obscure information from his students and make it so that the students had to do most of the work, because he believed that students would go through his class, make it through, decide this is fun without really understanding what they were learning, and eventually get to a midlife crisis where it's like, I wasted college, I don't even care about this, what am I doing? So the solution is to run a class where you teach students how to learn, and then all the ones who don't care will make it through the class, barely pass, and be like, I never want to do physics again. And all the ones who really do care, they'll be super certain that they care, because they just passed the hardest goddamn class in existence. And that, it did two things when I learned it. One, it pissed me off, but two, I understood. I was like, okay, thank God that this guy is not actually this bad of a teacher. Because I seriously knew with intuition that this guy knew more than he let on, and he was just being a dick. I knew it. I knew that he was. So it wasn't a surprise to me, but it did make me relieved that he was willing to admit it, and that he at least thought he was doing the right thing. That always brings me some relief when people who are doing very bad things at least think they're doing the right thing. Also, I want to make something very clear. This class, right, I was not doing below average. I was one of the students doing the best out of the whole class. My goal was to get a C. I needed to pass the class with a C, and I had to bust my balls to do that. This was the hardest class I've ever taken. And the curve was so bad that even with the final test grade, the test grade of the final, even with that, overwriting your lowest test grade from the other parts of the year, and the final test grade being curved 10%, and people getting a 10% bonus from showing up to the study session, which, by the way, only like 6 people showed up to. I was one of them. Even with all of that, more than half the class failed it. So just know that. Just know that. Just be aware of that while I continue talking about this. So, I struggled. I barely made it through Physics 2 with a C. And I've got barely good enough grades in all my classes to keep my GPA above a 2.8, which is what it needed to be for me to keep my scholarships. And around this time, I'm like, okay, I gotta start figuring out my schedule, because I actually did it. I actually pulled off the impossible. I made it through all these classes, like my professor said I might not be able to, and I'm gonna graduate in 4 years. I'm so happy. And even though I was miserable, I was like, I just gotta make it through. I'm willing to put myself through the gauntlet again if it's what I need to do to get this degree. But then, the most horrible thing imaginable happened. I looked at my schedule while I was trying to make it, and I realized there's no way for me to get enough credits to graduate in 4 years. And I went and I talked to the first guy about it. I tried to schedule an appointment. He wouldn't come to his appointment. He kept missing it. He kept not showing up. I made an appointment with him, I believe, 3 times. And then the 4th time, I finally, stopped him in the hallway, and I was like, are we ever gonna see each other? And he was like, you need to do a better job managing your time, Parker. And that pissed me off so viscerally that in that instant, I walked away and I went to the office of another professor who I actually respected and felt like wanted to see me succeed. And I talked to him about my problem. I said, okay, look, I was told by a certain unnamed individual, this guy, that I was going to graduate in 4 years if I finished these classes. I worked my ass off to finish these classes and destroyed my sanity, and he was wrong. I can't finish in 4 years. What do? Help? Maybe he was right, and I just need to look at it more deeply, more closer. So we did look at it, and we determined that absolutely no matter what, even though I had already been going for 2 years, this was the end of my second year, and I was just about to have a summer after my second year, I was going to need 4.5 more years to graduate, with for a total of 6.5 years to graduate with a bachelor's. So yeah, that was the absolute minimum, and that was if I did really good. So he talked with me, and he suggested, he's like, what if you change your major to computer science? Since that's what you actually care about, you like programming shit. And he didn't say shit, he didn't swear at me. I mean, shit isn't really a swear, it's just another word for poop. It's just a bad word. But I was like, you know what, I never thought of it, but that's a good idea. I should just change majors. And so I did. I changed majors because if I changed to computer science, there was a chance for me to graduate in 2.5 years. So instead of graduating in 6.5 years, I would graduate in 4.5 years, which is still a half a year longer than necessary. And maybe if I did kind of poorly and failed a class at one point, or wasn't able to cram as many as I thought into one semester, I could graduate in 5 years. And I was like, you know what? That's doable. But then I did some soul searching over the summer, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. It was not an exaggeration. I physically cannot finish this school. I can't do it. I'm not cut out for it. I'm mentally spent. He also gave me some advice that genuinely, the guy who helped me change my major also gave me some advice that would lead to me leaving the college. And I think I jumped ship at a good time because that professor actually ended up leaving the next year, I believe, going to a different college altogether. So without getting too into the politics of it or naming any huge names here, because I don't want to make this a huge deal, because many people have gone to the college that I went to and had a wonderful time and made it through with straight A's and had a great time while they were there, and it was a great experience, and they graduated with a degree, and it was all fine. So this is not a shit college. I just think that all colleges are shit, and some people are good at dealing with it anyway. Maybe I'm just stupid, you know? Maybe I am. But my gosh, I was always told when I was growing up, you're the smart one, Parker. You could do the multiplication tables faster than anyone else. You're so smart. And I'm like, I'm just energetic and stubborn. That's like it. I'm not smart. And no one ever believed me. They're like, no, you're smart, dude. You're the smartest person ever. And I'm like, shut up. You're wrong. At least by society's standards, I am not a smart guy. And this experience proved it to me. And once some time passed, I realized I was like, I'm not internalizing any of the information from this class. And it was around this time I started playing Baba Is You too, which just spoke to me on a spiritual level, a very spiritual level. I was like, this game about programming is teaching me more about programming than my goddamn 2 years of college have. I need to rethink my life. And I was like, so what I did over the summer was I set it up. I was like, I need to change something soon. And I made the summertime video while I was living on campus there. So that's where that video is taken from. And then time passed, and I was like, okay, I'm cutting out a lot here because this is already so long. I got to a certain point, and I was like, I am going to have to make a change in my life, no matter what that change is. It's going to have to happen soon. So this is now the start of 2019. This is now the start of the 2019-2020 school year. And I started. And I am struggling immensely that whole semester. I survived the semester, but I'm struggling. I'm like, I don't want to be here. This is garbage. And the whole time I'm there, this is going to sound really stupid, but I was dealing with a lot of psychological garbage. That's the subject of just a whole nother video, because it's a whole topic. But I basically wanted to be myself, but felt constrained by college, and felt like I couldn't really be who I was. I wasn't living. Every day I felt like a robot. And it felt like whenever I was myself, people would stare at me and look at me weird, and it would make me feel uncomfortable, and I just didn't feel welcome being alive. I just never had the courage to go through with it. I never had the courage to go through with living in this weird way that I wanted to live. It was super petty and stupid for most people, but for me it was like this whole thing. And I fell deeper and deeper into this like mental spiral where I was just like constantly doing what I felt like other people needed me to do and never ever living for myself. And I just got deeper and deeper and deeper into it, and it was getting really bad. And near the end, I started getting extraordinarily frustrated to the point where I started making vent art in the form of videos. Gotta Be Above It and Gateway to Glimmer are actually two videos that I made in one night in a hallway on a whim. Just like really, 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 really quickly. I just slapped footage from places that fit the mood of the music somewhat, and I was like, I'm gonna make these videos just to like some positive reinforcement for my brain. And then I didn't upload them for several months. And then when I believe that was even from the previous school year, like before the summer, but then I made a video that hasn't seen the light of day. No one's seen it yet, which is going to be part of a larger video eventually, which was like me being frustrated with my life and all the pressure that had been placed on me. And I was in a really bad mental place. And then I had a moment where I was like, I need to leave school. I need to leave college. And so I did. It was a long process, but I worked out. I was like, I'm going to transfer to an online college because this money that I have to go to college, I'm not allowed to use it for anything other than college until I live a year or two on my own to prove that I can do that. So I spend the money and the time to transfer my credits from this college I'm going to this online college and live in my home state near my parents. Just so that, because I'm an autistic dumbass who can't take care of himself, I need to go see my parents every once in a while just to like make sure I'm staying alive. And I did it. I did that for a while. I lived on my own and I did online college. And that was a whole nother episode of my life. And right when I left at the end of 2019, you can probably see where this is going. I was like, something, and in my intuition, I'm thinking, 2020 is going to be a crazy year, and I want to be there for it. I want to be there to make videos like crazy that year. But then 2020 happened, and you all know what 2020, you all know what happened in 2020, dang it. And I was in Missouri the whole time, just in like this nice apartment. And I'm just thinking to myself, I don't deserve this. I need to do something about the world. The world sucks. Parts of it that I have control over, even. I need to change my life. I need to change my world. And in thinking about doing that, I just kind of, even when I went to online college, I got better grades there. I had a better time, but I still hated it. I was still not getting anything done. So finally, after enough time had passed, oh yeah, for a while I was living in an apartment with Billy Kwan Man, this guy. I lived in an apartment with him, and then I moved home for a little while because he had a cat, and I'm allergic to cats, and we didn't work this out beforehand, so I basically just had to leave because it was so bad, and it was having such a negative effect on my health and my well-being, that I moved home with my parents and spent a long time with them there. And that was driving me insane because my parents don't like how I'm living, and I'm having to live with my parents. So I was just in a situation where the only people that liked me was myself and a bunch of online friends I had made. And that's it. And that's another detail of the story. I made a bunch of online friends around the time that the 2019 summer rolled around. And then that was another thing that motivated me to leave school because I realized it wasn't the only option. And after I left school for a while and I went to online college for a while and all of the protests and shit were happening, there were so many extremists that wanted that to be the end of the U.S. there were so many people that were just brutalized by cops left and right in the bigger cities. Meanwhile, where I was living, there was a peaceful protest. The cops kneeled. No violence happened. Some douchebag threw a rock through a window in one place, but other than that, no property damage was done. There wasn't even any, like, graffiti. Like, literally nothing happened. Nothing happened. It was just a bunch of people showed up for this protest and were like, hey, take a knee. And the police force was like, yeah, I got you, bro. And in fact, you know how a lot of these police forces were, like, putting their riot forces out in, like full force in the cities? Okay, just cut the shit out. That's too political. Don't cut it out. Keep it in. Show how afraid you are of saying literally fucking anything in current year. So yeah, I was really under a lot of stress. I had kind of like moved left over the last year in a lot of cultural ways, and going on places like Twitter and seeing just threads of hundreds of videos of police brutality was very it wore me down, and I felt this moral obligation to take screenshots of and record a lot of this shit, so I did. And I just got really addicted to social media around this time. And enough time passed, and finally, after enough time at this college, online college, I made a decision. I was going to quit college and get a job, because then I could focus on YouTube videos, because that's what I really wanted to do. And I got a job, and it worked for a while, but then I decided to move with a friend from high school who I had stayed in touch with through college into a new place in a new city in my home state, so we could live away from it all. New place, new start, blah blah blah. And I got a new job, and I had it for a while, and it was all good, and I was doing great. But then I got arbitrarily fired, and the people wouldn't tell me why. They just said we had to fire someone, and you were on the chopping block for reasons we can't disclose to you. You were our hard, and they were. I said, did I do something wrong? And they were like, you were our hardest working employee. We didn't really want to do this, but we had to. So, so there's that. So that happened to me. Thankfully, I was in a good financial place, so it didn't really matter. And I kind of wanted to leave the job anyway. And I wanted to not have a job at all anymore. I wanted to just stop and focus on YouTube with all of my energy. But my parents were co-signed on the lease that in the place I was living, and they said that as long as they're co-signed on the lease, I'm not allowed to do that. And I was like, as much as I like physically hate that, I agree with you that like just and for the sake of proving to you that this isn't about the money and this is about more than that, I will absolutely respect your request, and I will continue I will get another job. And I got another job, and I tried. I really tried my best. I was like, okay, I'm going to start this big video project that I've been wanting to make since September of 2019. I'm going to do it now. And it's going to require a whole lot of new skill sets. I'm going to need to learn like 7 new pieces of software and all sorts of stuff. But I'm going to do it. It's going to be great. And I'm going to do it while I have a job. And then I realized I couldn't do it. I was so bad at managing time and emotionally managing myself that I couldn't do it. I couldn't go to a job where I felt like I had to be fake for a while and then go home and work on something genuine. It was too much. And it was tearing me apart at the seams. And after enough time had passed, I decided to quit that job too. Because I had acquired enough money from this job and saved up enough that I could live for a substantial amount of time on my own without having to worry about money. For several months, I could just live and not even have to worry about money because I have it, and just work on YouTube. And if it fails, I just get another job. I don't really care if it fails. I just want to try it. Damn it. And finally, after enough reluctance, everyone else around me, like, they didn't even really let me do it. I just kind of forced my sheer power of will. I was like, I am going to quit my job. I don't care. And so I did. And then, after that, what happened is that a bunch of people, I did my taxes. And I got a huge undeserved refund. Well, I don't know about undeserved, but huge refund because I had never gotten my COVID checks, my COVID relief bills in the mail. So I got like an apology amount of money from the IRS. And then after I got qualified for that, I got the COVID checks. So I just got a lot of money to use to live by myself. And I had also lived long enough on my own that my parents had decided that it was okay for me to use the money that I had for college to do whatever I wanted with it. Because I had proven myself responsible. So now, I'm in a place where I have money, and I have time, and I want to focus on making YouTube videos. And that is exactly what I am going to do. I know that on your end, all that's happened is I haven't uploaded in a long freaking time. And that means that I haven't done anything. I've been dead this whole time. I've been laying underground, dormant, waiting for the sun to rise when my next video uploads. But the truth is that I was agonizing over it the whole time. This channel is part of a big dream of my life. Something I've always wanted to do. And so, I always placed this huge weight and importance on it. I never wanted to do it wrong. I was always super scared to just jump into it and just start doing stuff. I was always super, super afraid of just getting over myself and moving on and just becoming a new person. The person that I needed to be to do what I needed to do. And I was so scared of it for so long that I just kind of I let it really get to me. Like, I let it hinder my day-to-day life in a way that got way more personal and way more destructive than I ever would have intended it to. I really let it get to me on, like, a very visceral level that, like, you're not doing anything productive right now. Yeah, you're working a job so you can earn money. You should be making the world a better place, asshole. Asshole. Jerk. You don't deserve this, you privileged ass scum. And I told myself this every single day. It would always get to me on some level that, like, I deserve this. I deserve all the suffering I'm going through. And so I just kind of kept, like, diving deeper and deeper into this self-destructive behavior. And it became impossible to tell the difference between self-destructive behavior and disciplinary behavior. It became impossible to tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference between destroying myself and just giving myself the necessary amount of restraint to focus and get things done on a daily basis. I went on a massive, massive mental spiral. I wouldn't say downward spiral, I'd just say spiral. I went all over the dang place. It was a downward spiral for a while, but then became an upward spiral. And, well, after enough time had passed, I started really enjoying living again. I started getting to the point where it was it was always like, I have this great joy. I want to, like, express it online. And, like, also I want to make the world a better place by, like, lobbying Congress like Lewis guy does. Lewisman. I want to make dumb videos like Grapefruit. I want to talk to the camera for no reason like Pyrocynical. I want to get fit and, like, make it, like, public knowledge how to get fit and eat better and, like, grow food and a bunch of other stuff to help people loosen capitalism's tight grip on society. Like, in its current form. We're just, like, I don't even know if capitalism is the right fucking word for it anymore, because it's basically, people like to say, like, oh, socialism bad, capitalism, but, like, what's actually happening is, like, we basically live under a form of socialism, but where instead of the government being the ones giving us what we need on a daily basis, it's a bunch of corporations who don't have our best interests in mind. So instead of a bunch of government people who don't have our best interests in mind, it's just a bunch of corporation people. Greedy people. So how much better is that? Am I right? So I want to help people take responsibility and all that, but it's just like, at any layer of the progress of the way there, my brain would stop me whenever I was about to make a video, and it's like, okay, if you make a video about, I'm gonna play TF2 today, what does that do? What does that contribute to the world? Who cares? Who gives a shit? It's not important. You making a Team Fortress 2 live commentary for the 7,000th goddamn time on YouTube isn't gonna change anything. Okay, like, you saying, hey guys, welcome back to the video, isn't going to make your life magically better. It's just going to become a source of income for you, where you feel fake. And there was nothing more than I wanted than for YouTube to be a positive outlet for me and not a negative one. So, what I finally accepted was that YouTube couldn't be the 100% positive outlet that I wanted it to be, because YouTube was limited. So I had to overcome the boundary and be who I wanted to be without YouTube. I had to do it by myself. I had to grow up. I had to stop being such a bitch boy, and I had to start doing things to change my life. I had to start actually working towards changing myself. I had to flip the switch and become a frickin' weirdo who didn't care about people judging him. I had to be that. I had to just become that on a daily basis. Not care. Just not care. And I moved away from viewing YouTube as this thing that I had to do and into this thing that I really, really, really wanted to do. It was no longer this homework assignment that was different from my school assignment. It was this thing I wanted to do. And the thing is, I was always scared. Even when I wanted to make a video genuinely, I was scared to do it unless it was a great one that would go viral. Because I'm thinking, okay, if you just make another fucking TF2 video or like shitpost video, the algorithm is going to see your channel and it's going to say, oh, Verb, he's the TF2 guy. Please never recommend his videos to anyone ever again except TF2 players. No matter what videos he wants to make, no matter how much he wants to branch out, he is this, and I say so because I'm the YouTube algorithm. I don't know why it's designed that way. Actually, that's a lie. I know exactly why it's designed that way. It's designed that way because advertisers need a consistent base to be able to advertise to. So YouTube designs their website around people getting fit neatly into little boxes. Oh, this is the gaming YouTuber. This is the Team Fortress 2 YouTuber. This is the Facecam YouTuber. And it's like, oh, hey guys, how's it going? And like, everyone has to be put in this box. And if they do something other than their box, that's wrong. How dare you? You're not supposed to do things outside of your box. That's not your job. Your job is to sell ads to Team Fortress 2 players. Your job isn't to make good, engaging content that makes you grow as a human being. Your job is to make another fucking TF2 video, you piece of shit. And so, I didn't want that to happen to me. I saw that happen to so many other people. I saw that happen to Star. I even saw it happen to Jerma to the point where he quit YouTube. Because he was like, if I want to make money, I should just stream. And don't get me wrong, streaming has its own limitations, but look at how creative he's gotten with it, dude. YouTube is such a shit platform, and I just didn't want to ruin my chance by being the guy who posts regular videos. And I was always worried. I was like, because Stir was like, if I make enough good videos, eventually word of mouth, people will get around, people will know about it, will hear about it. And it's like, but that's not how it works, buddy. That's not how it works. Even if you make the perfect video, it's not going to matter. It's just not going to matter. You have to play to the game of the algorithm. That's the only way to succeed on this godforsaken platform. And I finally internalized that. But before I did, I was like, I can't make just a regular video of me rocket jumping or something. That's like, that would be bad for the algorithm because I don't want to lock myself in a box. And that's been my mindset for literal years. It's why I never upload. The joke is that, oh, I'm lazy, I don't upload, oh, but like that's not the reality of it. The reality of the situation is that I would upload every single goddamn day if I wanted to, but I don't, simply because I want to hold myself to a standard, one, and two, I want things to be there for a reason, and three, I don't want YouTube to lock me in an algorithm box. I want to be able to make Bill Wirtz style animations, and those not go completely unseen because they don't fit into a neat little category. Because, oh, excuse me, what's this? You wanted to make an expressive art piece combining these, like, different genres of things? That's not allowed. You have to make another Team Fortress 2 live commentary video or Let's Play Overwatch video. That's how you get views. I've made like 10 videos, and even of the ones I've made, that's been proven to be true. Like, even though I have 1,000 subscribers, every video I post gets like 20 views. And I know I have such a small number, so it's like not even worth getting upset about or worried about. But I was just thinking super long term. I'm like, what if someday I have 1 million subscribers? And then I have these, like, large amount of people that all, like, need my content to fucking survive. Because it's, like, consumerism. They have to watch us. You saw how, like, starved Star's fucking fan base got. And it's like, I'd rather just not do that to people. I'd rather not get people hooked on a drug I couldn't provide them in the first place. So I never did it. I never made any videos because it's like, until I get to a point where I am confident that I can consistently make something new and creative and meaningful, I'm not going to make any videos. I'm just gonna sit in my own little bubble, slowly acquiring the knowledge and the know-how and the information and the networking and get to know some people, and eventually I'll break out with my big project and it'll be great. And it's like, what I needed to realize is that that's never gonna happen until you do it. And it was this weird shitty feedback loop because it was like, okay, I can't make a video until I'm genuine, until it's something that isn't fake, until it's like real. Okay? In order for something to be genuine, it has to like, I have to really care about what I'm doing. Okay. Once I care about something for over a week, I stop caring about it. Okay. Why don't you change your whole personality so that you care about things for more than a week? That sounds like a good solution to that problem. That's what I did. I like forced myself. I like reprogrammed my fucking brain to be okay with working for weeks at a time on a singular task because it's what I want to do. And eventually I found a healthy way to do it, but it was unhealthy at first. But dude, it was such a struggle because I have made 4 or 5 videos and I have had ideas for hundreds of videos off screen that no one has ever seen. Well, I haven't made all of them, but I've had ideas for them, and I've made like 12 of them that no one has ever seen because I don't want to post this isn't good, like, strategically for my YouTube channel. And the irony is that the reason I'm starting a YouTube channel is so I can get out of this system and I can live how I want to. And I realize that that's selfish on some level, but like on another level, it's like, it wasn't because it was selfish. It was because I'm physically, like, this isn't sustainable. I wasn't internalizing the information I was learning from college, so I was going to end up with a degree, but with no internalized information, no real true knowledge, only wisdom, and no knowledge to put that wisdom towards. So I would just be a wise fool, so to speak. A wise idiot. Someone who knew how to apply knowledge, but had no knowledge to speak of. And I had to leave, and in the same vein that I eventually had to leave college because it wasn't working, I had to leave that shitty mindset of, but you can't upload because this. I promised people that I would upload by the end of August. First, I promised people I would upload by the end of July, and before that, I promised people I would upload by the end of June, and before that, I promised myself I would upload by the end of 2020. And then I ended up uploading top 10 verb moments, or whatever the frick that video was called, which is just 5 seconds of silence, because the joke is I didn't upload anything in 2020. What a funny joke verb. You get Comedy of the Year award. So, I made that video, and then I made whatvideo.mp4, because I had like 3 people on Discord who were like contractually obligated to like break my kneecaps if I didn't upload a video by the end of August. So I was like, fine, I'll throw something together in like 2 days and unupload it. Here you go. Are you happy? Is this what you wanted? And right now, I'm doing the same thing. I promised that I would upload a video by the 2-year anniversary of the Area 51 video. And, well, something important came up and I couldn't focus on making videos 2 days ago, so I took care of that. And now, it's the 21st, And it's kind of fitting because it's the 21st night of September, baby. Do you remember when it was the 21st night of September 1 year ago and I uploaded on my second channel an update video that was really stupid and silly and short where I basically just said, hey, life sucks. I've moved a million times. Coronavirus. Bye. Yeah, that is basically... Now you know the whole story of that. Maybe you didn't watch it because you're not subscribed to my second channel. Go subscribe to my second channel. I have a second channel. Go subscribe. Anyways, by the way, if you haven't done it already, like and subscribe. I am throwing this video together in a day. All the footage that's recorded for the background gameplay and all of the editing that's been done has been done in one day. I could make a video in one day. It's easy. All you have to do is have an editing program, have the knowledge of what to do, have the equipment to do it, and do it. That's it. It's not hard. It's just that I want the things I make to mean something. And I have this, like, arbitrary need to, like, stop myself from uploading until it's meaningful. And so I decided to finally break that, to just cut that out, to stop it. I am going to upload whatever I gosh darn feel like. And eventually, I'm going to get to things that will grow my channel. And that's just going to have to be how it is. I need to stop being so stubborn and just allow myself some amount of wiggle room, some amount of just things can't be as perfect as you want them to be. But on some level, though, I know they can be that perfect. And I need to be stubborn and I need to be hard not compromise. And I know that all of you watching this right now are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Dude, you have like 1.3k subscribers. 1.4, whatever it is right now. I don't know. I didn't look at the number. You've made like incredibly simple Sony Vegas YouTube videos. Like, why are you acting so pretentious? Like, what you do matters. And well, it's mostly because I see a lot of the things that I see a lot of my ideas. I have a lot of confidence. I really do. And I see a lot of my ideas that I have over the years being taken and used by someone else, and then their channel does really well. For example, I can name like 10 channels off the top of my head that took an idea I had and ran with it, and their channel ended up being stupid successful. Desync posts weird videos of just like, haha, I'm casually glitching out source games. That was an idea I had, did super well. Grapefruit, Smash Bros, and then eventually ventured off into Source Engine games and just quote-unquote speedrun videos. And that was really fun, and his channel did really well, and he had a vibe I was kind of going for earlier on in my channel. But he nailed it. He just nailed it. I always wanted to make silly videos where I did Let's Plays of games, and I turned SV cheats on, and I glitched them out, and I did everything that I possibly could do in the engine in them. And he did it. He did that. And also he did good Smash Bros montages. And then, like, we also quit Smash Bros around the same time. Based guy, we both agree on how shit Smash Bros has become. And honestly, how bad it always was, and we were just too stupid to see it. But anyways, point is, I also saw Bill Wirtz. Bill Wirtz was the #1 thing. When I saw Bill Wirtz be as stupidly successful as he was, that was what gave me, like, an ungodly amount of confidence. Just like, yeah, no, I can do this. I just have to have the discipline to do it. It'll definitely have an audience. People will definitely like it. I was just like I always knew that it would be liked, but there was a part of my brain that was like, people will think this is stupid. No, there will be a large number of people who don't think this is stupid, what I want to do with my channel. And I just... my whole life had become a series of being... just not being, like, confident enough, not being sure enough of myself. Not because I wasn't confident in the sense that I didn't have the bravery to do what I needed to do, but I didn't have the knowledge, the certainty that people would feel me and hear the message I was trying to send the same way that I felt it and I was trying to send it. I was really terrified of being overly genuine and then people misinterpreting that. And when I say was, I mean even in life. Even in life itself, I was scared of that. And I still am to some extent because old habits die hard, but I mean, it's always going to be there until I finally just stop it because I've been avoiding it for so long. But at some point in my life, I just got super scared and started living off of fear instead of bravery, and lived off of so much fear that it destroyed my life. And I saw YouTube as a chance to, like, I'm gonna go back into the being genuine part of it. But I never leaped fully into it because I didn't want to do it wrong. I didn't want to do it less than perfect. And I've been building up for years and years and years now. And it's 2021. It's September of 2021, for God's sake, Parker. It's 9 months into 2021. You wanted to have your YouTube channel up and running by 2020. And it is September of 2021. You are late. You need to get to class, my guy. You need to go there already. So, yeah, you get the idea. I have this energy that I want to give. And I was just always super unconfident for a lot of reasons that I'm not going to get into this video because I've already bored you to death enough. If you've listened to this, like, oh my gosh, thank you for listening to the whole video. But yeah, it means a lot to me that people actually care enough to, like, even one person would care enough about my life to listen to this whole thing. It makes me feel good. So, eventually I realized that if I truly wanted to stop worrying about YouTube and just upload videos, I needed to just start not caring about if they were going to do well. Truly. And having my self-worth not be placed in the validation I get from those videos that I'm going to make. So, I had a big project that I was working on that I referred to in my second channel video. And I was working on it for a long time during that second job, but it was too big of a scope. I bit off more than I could chew with it. It was a lot harder than I thought to learn the skills necessary to make that video. It was too grand of scope, and I bit off way more than I could gosh dang chew. It's that simple. And I finally, after enough hesitation, I stopped having the sunken cost fallacy, and I put it on the back burner. I'm like, I've wasted months on this, and I've made no progress. So I stopped. And I was like, let's make another big project instead. And I kept adding more and more to that big project. And now, well, I'm working on it. I'm going to make it soon, but I still don't have all the skills I need to finish this big project. But I'm getting there, and I'm decently close. And I think I'll finish it before the end of the year. But, dude, it is a struggle. It is a genuine struggle. It has been such a mess trying to learn everything. And part of the reason why is because, well, we are social creatures. We do thrive off of feedback, and when all you're doing every day is working on something that only you care about, and you're just learning a new piece of software with no social aspect, even if you believe it is the right thing to do to learn how to use this thing, it is going to be hard to motivate yourself to learn unless you really love the process of learning itself. So, I had to socially engineer myself to care about what it was I was learning. But more importantly, I also had to find a way to make it social. So, I've been avoiding uploading for arbitrary reasons that have to do with my ideas. I'm done doing that. I am going to upload. I am going to start making whatever videos I want and not worry about YouTube locking me in a box. I am still going to somewhat worry about that and make variety content because that's always what I wanted to do anyway. But I am going to try my hardest not to let YouTube pin me down. I don't want them to know what I am. I am an enigma. You cannot contain me. So yeah, I spoke a lot in this video, so let me summarize everything I just said. So this is the too long didn't read. I am really, really horrible at summarizing my thoughts in a concise manner the first time when I'm talking. I don't know why I'm so bad at it. Okay, I'm good at it. I am good at concising. Confidence. I am good at concisely communicating what I need to communicate. So, summary. I went to college. College sucked. I didn't learn what I needed to learn. I got fed up with it. I literally was told I would be able to graduate in 4 years if I did these hard classes to make up for a class I failed. But then the guy who told me that was wrong and then wouldn't take responsibility for the fact that he was wrong about it and tried to blame it on me. And one of the classes I had to take for the purpose of graduating in 4 years was so shit and so horrible that it made me miserable and I hated life. Over the course of that next summer, this was like the time I uploaded the summertime video, I decided I needed to make some changes in my life. The next school year happens, and that's the subject of a whole nother freaking video, but I decide in the middle of it, this is not good, I need to change gears. I need to move. I can't do this anymore. School's not good for me. It is destroying me because I'm not learning what I need to learn. And I finally get the bravery and the courage to just take a crazy move of my life and move out and do online college instead. Because I wanted to stop college altogether, but my parents wouldn't let me do that because the money that I was using to survive was money that was meant for college. So we made a deal where I could use that money to live in an apartment if I was also going to online college at the same time. So I did that. I started doing this in January and February of 2020. And then the person I was living with, this guy, his apartment had a cat. That was bad for me. I moved out just like momentarily until we took care of the cat problem, or until at least until I finished my work for the trimester, because that's how that was set up, was trimesters. And before I could go back, COVID happened, and they were like, nobody's traveling anywhere, baby. So that kind of screwed that up. And then because there was no reason to continue living at that place, my roommate moved out, so I had to move out too, because reasons. And I decided to live in an apartment in a different city, and I did that for a while. I lived in that apartment, and then enough time passed, and I realized that I wasn't really learning anything from this online school. I wasn't internalizing any information, and the information I was internalizing was easy stuff that I could find on Google, and I didn't need to be paying tens of thousands of dollars to get this stupid piece of paper. And there is value in the degree, obviously, because it says you were willing to suffer through it, but look, I don't care. But as far as I'm concerned, a piece of paper saying that you were willing to suffer through shit for no reason that you could have not had to suffer through is not indicative of intelligence. It is indicative of how good of a boy you are, of how good of a drone you are to the corporate elite, to people who, at how good you are at kissing the butt of people who don't care about you. So I quit. I quit school, and I got a job, and I used the job money to sustain myself. 3 jobs and 1 apartment later, 2 jobs later, and 1 apartment later, I start working on this big project for YouTube. It's too big of a project. I bite off way more than I could chew. It was way too much. I give up. I put it on the back burner. And I end up getting fired from my job for seemingly no reason. They even told me I was the hardest working employee and they didn't want to fire me, but they had to for reasons they couldn't tell me. And then I got a 3rd job. And this 3rd job paid really well and had good hours, but I was mentally in like the shittiest place, and I was having such a hard time dealing with going there. And I finally figured out that why was because of physical reasons and not mental reasons, and it was having an effect on my mental health because I physically wasn't in a good place. But I wasn't even allowing myself the possibility of thinking that it was my body that was the problem and that it was me not taking care of myself. No, it was because I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't being genuine enough or something. And after being at my 3rd job for a while, I saved up enough money that I could live for several months on my own, and I quit my job so that I could focus on YouTube. And then I got a bunch of money from tax refunds and COVID checks, and now here I am. I am going to make YouTube videos if it freaking kills me. I am going to try my absolute darndest, my absolute hardest to make something that other people can enjoy, and that I can enjoy. And I've been making a lot of life changes lately, and I'm going to start uploading videos regularly. Not super regularly right now, but I am going to start uploading videos regularly and not caring at all about what algorithm boxes they put me in or who watches them. Just make them. Just make the darn things. Just make stupid YouTube videos. That is what I am going to do. And that's where I am right now. And it seems to you guys, since I haven't uploaded, that nothing has been going on, that nothing has happened, but a lot has happened. A lot has been changing. I have been working a shit ton on videos off camera that you haven't seen. I am really, truly excited to show you guys what I've been working on. It is worth it. Because I've said before at the end of videos, my word means nothing anymore. I've said at the end of videos, dude, I'm so excited, I'm going to be able to start working on videos, pog, and then I don't upload for 7 months. But I literally have no distractions, no excuses. I am living on my own. I have no responsibilities except survive and work on YouTube videos. So I am going to start uploading. And I've not been uploading because I have this arbitrary fear of breaking the mold and getting out there and doing it in a bad, embarrassingly wrong way. So I don't ever do it. And nothing ever changes. Ever. So, I am changing that. I am going to start uploading videos and not caring and not giving a shit what people think about them. And I'll try this for a while. And if YouTube fails and I'm not able to make a living from it, then, well, I am going to probably get a job at FedEx. That is my plan. FedEx or another shipping company, and just move boxes all day. That genuinely sounds like something that I would enjoy doing. I know that sounds crazy to you maybe, but that is probably the best option for me. Just go to a job where literally all I do all day is move boxes. I don't even care. And besides, it's not like having a job means I can't do YouTube on the side. It just means I can't pour all of my focus and attention into it. So there you go. The channel update is that I'm here. I'm making videos. I'm here. I'm queer. I'm making videos. I'm going to make videos. I'm going to make videos. That phrase has lost all meaning. It's like when you say the word tuna fish too many times and it doesn't sound like a word anymore because you just keep saying tuna fish and then it just sounds stupid. That's a bad example. A table. What is a table? Table. 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 What is a table? What is a table? Who is a table? Why is a table? The association is super strong, but like table doesn't sound like a real word. It's like this ancient weird like table, like an animal table. It's like what does that mean? You get what I'm saying. I'm saying that the phrase "I am going to make videos" has lost all meaning. But like I swear, holy shit, I swear I'm telling you the truth. My biggest fan, Leifel, my boy, his channel got deleted. He deleted his channel for some reason. So now the only person who was there for me, who was a stranger and wasn't just someone I knew, is not there anymore. So rest in peace, dude. Rest in peace. The guy I promised like 2-3 years ago, I'm gonna stop being dumb. Thank you for sticking through me. We have this journey. I'm gonna start uploading videos. He's gone now. He left me alone. I took too long to upload another video. Gosh dang it, dude. So, I'm just dragging this on for way too long. Thank you all for watching. And if you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want to see more videos like this one, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Please dislike and... Excuse me. Unsubscribe.